Thursday afternoon. I'm Susie Jones. We begin with the smoke from the wildfires burning in northern Minnesota. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency issuing the highest air quality alert ever in the Twin Cities. That is maroon, the most hazardous. At least 15 fires still raging and scores more burning in Ontario, as well as this heat. The poor air quality forcing the cancellation of several outdoor events, including competition today at the Target USA Cup in Blaine. Tournament Director Tournament Director of Health, Jamie Murphy.
It's very disappointing. I mean, obviously this tournament is a great welcoming party for the world of soccer and for Minnesota. So it is disappointing to be able to have to take this opportunity away from our athletes, spectators, parents, chaperones, volunteers, everybody that gets to enjoy the festival of the USA Cup. So disappointing to say the least.
All games scheduled today will be recorded as 0-0 ties. All teams, though, will advance to the playoffs. Other cancellations of note: Minneapolis Park and Rec canceling events, as did Valley Fair and Creed at Mystic Lake Amphitheater. Those are just a couple, so check if you have plans before you head out to see if your event has been canceled. Thousands of people are in the Twin Cities, whether it be for concerts or card-playing tournaments or weddings.
Antoinette, Rita, and Ariel are all in town for a family wedding. They hail from the Washington, D.C. area and got in late last night. Rita Hine found out about the air quality alert before she even landed.
We found out about the air problem because we came in late last night, so the plane couldn't land.
After circling Minneapolis, she said they landed and immediately got bombarded.
It's bad for me because I have asthma.
The three have also had to deal with other obstacles as well, with light rail down in some places, but Antoinette says that's not going to dampen their spirits.
It is not fun, but I'm going to have fun.
Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Veterinarians sounding the alarm about keeping pets safe during these hazardous, smoky conditions. Jean Geske is with BCA All About Pets. She says cats particularly should not go outside at all and minimize the time that a dog spends outside.
I know some dogs only eliminate on a walk, but really shorten that as much as possible. Sometimes even people recommend, because those allergens build up on like the dog's hair coat, that even just giving them a bath or washing that off so that that doesn't cause further problems.
Geske says the more dogs pant, the greater risk they have of inhaling the allergens, which could lead to allergic bronchitis in a dog. In other news today, promising news for Minnesota's economy.
The state added 13,200 jobs in June, marking the third consecutive month of strong gains, according to the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Deed says Minnesota's unemployment rate held at 4.4%, while the U.S. unemployment rate ticked down 0.1 of a percentage point to 4.2%. They add the job growth followed losses seen during Operation Metro Surge from January through March. Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
WCCO News Time 3:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slows down in place already. 494 eastbound Penn Avenue as you head over toward Portland Avenue. If you're going to be traveling 35 east southbound, jammed up. Randolph heading down to West 7th Street. West 94 slows. Carmichael Road to the St. Croix River. West 94 jammed up. Weaver Lake Road. Actually, as you make your way from Hemlock Lane over to Weaver Lake Road. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Washburn-McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The air quality alert pushes through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, so smoky skies into the night tonight. 74 the overnight low. Mostly sunny tomorrow. We will see that smoke clear up, but then it's back to the heat and humidity. 95 the afternoon high. That extreme heat warning does persist till 9 p.m. tomorrow. This weekend, well, slightly cooler. Plenty of sunshine both days. A high of 90 on Saturday, 92 Sunday. It will be less humid both days.
Right now, we have smoky skies, 90 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
The more you listen, the less you'll miss. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Sort of staggering how many problems we're having around Minnesota because of the smoke. The smoke. Is this our new way of life? I'm worried about it. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Glad to have you with us. 651-461-9226. How bad is it where you are? Things are being canceled all over the state. Parks closed. City of Maple Grove had their big Maple Grove Days parade scheduled for tonight. They canceled it. Sea Salt, the restaurant in Minnehaha Falls Park in South Minneapolis, is closed today. We've got the owner visiting with us at 4:35 talking. It was pre-scheduled to talk about their new cookbook, but today the challenge they're facing is closure because of smoke. I have been sort of amazed at how fascinated people are by this smoke. I put up a video on Instagram, and it has almost 100,000 views of it because I think people are transfixed by this. But I got to say, I'm annoyed by it. I'm sick of it. And I feel helpless. Most things that affect us in this way, you can draw a clear line to what the problem is. And if we're going to be dealing with smoky air through the end of summer, I mean, honestly, you get to a point where you're like, the argument we always make about the greatness of Minnesota is, oh, yeah, the winter is tough, but man, the summer makes it all worth it. Does it? I mean, doesn't this ruin your summer? I want to hear from you. 651-461-9226. Because I do think, I mean, who wants to do anything in this? This ruins the absolute vibe of summer in Minnesota. It just does. Now, from my apartment in downtown St. Paul, normally I can see the cathedral, no problem. No problem. Today, forget it. You can where it's just about impossible to see anything. And I saw people walking around downtown with masks on. I mean, I wonder, like, what steps you're going to. I saw somebody walking down the street with their shirt over their face because you feel it. And I don't know, I was walking through the apartment today, and I smelled it in the hallway. That's on the 12th floor of an apartment building. Normally, I look at this stuff, and I'm like, you know, it's a day. It's an afternoon. And Chris Schaefer said in his forecast that this is gonna be gone mostly by tomorrow afternoon. But, you know, if you've got this going on now, and we've got it just constantly looming as an issue, I don't know. I mean, part of the real frustration here is the fact that much of this is Canadian wildfires. Now, as a challenge for Minnesota, I would like to blame Canada for this situation, but some of this is actually our own doing. It's our own wildfire in the BWCA area. Let's go to John in Farmington. John is at 651-461-9226. John, how difficult is this for you in Farmington?
It's tough. I mean, I'm working in Minneapolis right now, and I'm a service guy, so I go in and out of houses. And the biggest thing for me, I'm not old, but I'm 55 and I'm not overweight, but I'm a bigger guy. So it's hard. It's like a double-edged sword. You're dealing with the heat and the smoke. And I don't, it's tough. I have to sit in my van for a while to kind of get back into the swing of things. I go in and out of houses, but I spend time in my van grabbing parts and stuff. I spend 5 minutes outside. I'm struggling by the time I get in the house.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It does give me a little more empathy when you have those sort of air quality alert days, and for people who are really sensitive to the air quality, because I'm not sensitive, but you do feel dragging. I park like 6 blocks away, and just when you walk down the street about 2 blocks in, you're like, "Woof, this feels awful."
But I've never, I know we've had smoke before, and I've never seen it like this before, and I've never had problems until today.
Wow. Yeah, that's how hardcore it is. John, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. That's a good perspective from John, because there's a guy who's just out there working and has never experienced it this challenging before. Let's go to Sheila in Kensington, which is west central Minnesota. Sheila, I'm glad you called, because the images I've seen, the more to the central and the more up north you go, there were stunning images last night, these bright pinks and oranges of the sunset. We know that comes with a price.
It does, yeah. Last night it was, like you said, it was hazy. The sunset was orange, but boy, I woke up this morning at about 4:30, and it was thick. You could smell it. You could barely breathe outside. It was bad. And then when I got to work, I could smell it in my office area inside, like you said. And then about I'd say 10:30, 11 o'clock, it dissipated. So now it's just hazy, and you can't smell the smoke anymore. So this morning it was that I feel so bad for those people who live close to the fire up in the area.
No doubt. And they're getting not only their fire, but then they're getting the Canadian wildfire on top of it. I saw some video from New York City where this stuff is blowing all over the upper Midwest. It's crazy. And I hate to be this I don't remember it being like this, but I don't remember it being like this. We've had smoke before, but the fact that we seem to get this year after year after year, it does make me worry that is this just what our life is going to be like? I don't know.
I feel like the same way, because it seems like was it last year, the year before? I remember being out on the boat on Lake Minnewaska, and it was so hazy with smoke. And I'd never seen that before in my life. And today was an epic amount of smoke and ash. It's all across your car.
Good. I hadn't thought about that where you're at, Sheila. Of course, like you're going to see it on the cars. Oh, man. All right.
Yeah.
Sheila, thanks for calling and for listening. I appreciate it. How about Jim on Lake Mille Lacs on line 3? Jim, thanks for listening. What's it like by you?
The smoke is pretty thick in the Mille Lacs area. Last night at sunset, it was really bad. Myself, I'm somewhat sensitive to this, so I've been having a little bit of a tough day yet, even today. But I mainly wanted to call about what you were talking about, Jason. It's kind of frustrating. Like, what can we do about this, or is there any solution? And that's where the really tough part is. Northern Minnesota, where I'm originally from, up close to the Ely area, that area has so much forestation where there's beetles. The pine beetle has killed off a phenomenal amount of pine trees up there, and those pine trees they're just primed for burning. And when the fires do start, a lot of people don't want the fires to continue to burn, so they fight the fires, get the fires out, and then the fires restart in the areas that didn't burn. But I think there's some management that needs to go on with the selective burning and literally planting these burns and burning large areas of obviously not boundary waters.
Of course, right. Yeah, I totally feel what you're saying. Thank you for the call, and it is an issue. You know, we've had this sort of dispute with Canada because Canada does not really manage their forests. They let kind of nature take its course. There are currently 858 fires burning in Canada, 30 new ones just today. That's the report from the BBC. So air quality alerts in Michigan, of course here in Minnesota, but it's all over into the Northeast. It's terrible. But I do wonder, what can we do to pressure Canada to try to change things? And obviously, Canada has this huge forest. Their boreal forest is similar to our forest in northern Minnesota. It's very, very flammable. Wildfires are part of nature. They're a natural thing. They do make a forest come back stronger. But Canada sort of lets the thing just kind of do its bit. In the past, that was fine. In the far west of Canada, there are virtually no people there. Now those fires have migrated to the east, and you're seeing it in Ontario and Quebec and the Atlantic provinces, and so they just don't have the firefighters out there to do it. I don't know. And to me, just saying like, well, we got to fight climate change, like, yeah, that's a good, option to help us out in 20 years, but what's that do for us now? Jonathan, Steve, Jeff, stay on the line. Your feedback welcome as well. 651-461-9226. Drive Time, back in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Jason here from my friends at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. And I follow J.H. Menswear on Instagram, and I just saw that one of the Halberstadt boys is out in New York City doing what they do a couple times a year at J.H. & Sons, which is going to New York or going to Italy or going to Paris or going to Portugal, wherever they have to go to find the best menswear in the world and bring it back to us at the Galleria in Edina. Now, I'm going out of town on vacation this weekend. Before I went on my trip, I went over to J.H. & Sons. I'm going to post this video tonight. But I went over to the store and said, like, hey, I'm going to Mexico City. It's not going to be 100. It's like upper 70s during the day, mid 60s at night. Can we put together like a couple of shirts, maybe a sport coat, something that can take me from day to night? And I know what you're thinking. Jason, are you out of your mind? Do you need to go from day? You could just wear a T-shirt. You're on vacation. But I like to look good. I like to dress up. And I love the service I get at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. You have a wedding coming up. You need a suit. Get to J.H. & Sons. But special night out, they got you covered too. Sign up for their email list, VIP email list at jhnSons.com. But go say hi to Bryce and Chuck and Dean and the whole team at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust? Do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana. And I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Reff Wagner. This is their focus. Wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Celtos, Ford, Hero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. Lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. Oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. When you pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to superstore.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Superstore is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefit, all with year-round support for you and your team. At superstore.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not, plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to superstore.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies in one place. Superstore.com. That's superstore.com. Paid for by Superstore Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
The words they used were confusing, intimidating, overwhelming, taking over the world.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
You left me here on your way, paradise. Look at that, Chris Tubbs spinning the tunes today in for Dan Cook. It's Dan Cook's birthday. Sort of winner, Dan Cook, don't you think? I mean, it's his birthday. Big, like.
I mean, some of us actually work on our birthday, Dan. That's what I do. I mean, come on.
I don't know. You need like a day off for your birthday. Maybe.
At what point do you just say it's my birthday and you move on?
Maybe we will. Look, it's certainly not my place to tell someone to try to like take a little less attention. I mean, that's my department is usually the look at me department.
I was going to say, I think you get upset when people take the attention away from you.
Maybe 651-461-9226. Getting a ton of feedback on this topic. Let's go to Don from Forest Lake, a retired forester. Some insight on really all the tinder that we have, all of the flammable material up, not just in northern Minnesota, but in Canada. Don, can I ask you a question before you say what you wanted to say? So a texter is asking if we could maybe put giant fans on the Canadian border and just blow the smoke back into Canada. What do you think about that?
Well, it sure would be nice if something that simple.
It sure would. It sure would. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, my comments were about Canada. Really, it's a completely, totally different animal. You know, we only have a little teeny sliver of the boreal forest that extends down into northeast Minnesota. Wisconsin, Michigan, they have millions and millions of acres. Our boundary waters around the boundary is filled with campsites and resorts, et cetera, whereas Canada, I mean, it is true wilderness.
It's 60% of Canada, right? Like I think I went on a tour of the Canadian Rockies, and one of the things that I had never considered is that something like 80% of the population of Canada lives right around the border between Canada and the United States, like in a certain window there. And it makes sense, right? You're like, around Toronto. And you're like, okay, it makes sense. So it does point out how difficult it is for Canada. They can't manage that massive forest the same way we can try to manage ours.
They would love to because they're losing a resource. I mean, but the thing is, we've had the spruce budworm. There are millions of acres of dead spruce, pine, fir up there because of the spruce budworm, which is exacerbated by climate change and drought. They've had horrific years of drought, probably 5 to 6 years of drought in a row now. And then with the spruce budworm, they've got just standing dead trees filling, again, I keep saying millions of acres, and it's true. It truly is millions of acres. So, but they would love to be able to. Right now, there are over 400 fires burning in Canada. So we talk about 17 in Minnesota, and we're having a hard time dealing with 17. They have 400 fires.
Is there any hope, any sort of solution to this, or do we need to maybe get our arms around the fact that, a couple of times this summer, we're just going to be dealing with this sort of situation?
Well, unless we get a change in our weather patterns, because we're getting hotter and drier summers. And again, with all the dead standing timber, it's just a recipe for, you can look out your window and see the results.
Don, thank you. Appreciate it. Don from Forest Lake. Let's go to Jonathan on line 2. Jonathan in Minneapolis. Jonathan, I know how bad it is downtown. It is unpleasant, isn't it?
Oh, good afternoon, sir. And before you play that song, happy birthday, Dan, and you're welcome. And by the way, it's fun to get into your 50s because then you can really complain and nobody cares. So
that's right. Dan will be able to do. Dan took a hike on us. He took today and tomorrow off. So.
And if you didn't think we were living in the apocalypse yet, don't look outside.
It is sort of like it is end of days feeling, isn't it?
It really is. It cracks me up because like the people on social media really know how to play it up like it's the end of the world. It's so funny. And I'm going to give you a tip because you live in an apartment high rise like I do, but on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
But with you, if you want to, the best thing for you to do is with your air purifier, if you have one. Do you have one of those?
I don't. I probably should now.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a tip of which one to get because I have gone through every single one with all this smoke stuff, right? It's called GOVEE. GOVEE. It's amazing. It connects to your internet. It turns oil purifier smells, and it really makes your apartment smell much nicer because I used to smoke, and so my neighbor would yell at me. That's a whole other Raphael moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying.
Not that expensive though. It looks like they're like $40 to $100 depending on what model. Right?
Wow, look at you go, Jason. I see that on my TV. The other thing that you can do with your air vent, if you have a vent in your wall, you could put the filtration things, the plastic things up against your, what do you call it? The vent. I'm sorry, I'm not mechanically inclined. You could ask the other guy. Yeah, you put it up against that, and it'll keep your filtration system a little bit better. With that being said, please, everybody, taking your pets, make sure they're washed because the pets are the ones that are going to get hurt most by this when you're taking them out. And also make sure you're wearing a mask. That's the only thing that can keep you. I did go out for about 10 minutes this morning, and oh my God, I haven't seen so many masks since COVID-19.
Yes. Very good. Thanks, Jonathan. One texter said that they were at a gas station in the North Loop, and somebody was wearing a literal gas mask. Oh my goodness. Bill, New Ulm, you're going to get the last word on this. Thanks for calling, Bill.
Actually, New Hope.
Oh, New Hope, yes. Well, New Ulm is a little more exciting, I think, than New Hope. No offense.
Well, New Hope is the hope of New Ulm.
That's very nice. Very nice. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
If our species would have gone extinct about 200 years ago before all this burning of fossil fuels and man-caused climate change, the Earth would be a peaceable kingdom now because the rest of biological life is in checks and balances of nature. So I say go nature, but I say back to nature.
You're cheering for nature in this battle. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. 3:32. We'll revisit this maybe in our 5 o'clock hour. Talk a little bit more about what you guys are experiencing. Schaefer's forecast
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So before I came on the air, my phone rang, and it was scheduling. I'm like, schedule? What's going on? It's Jason. It was the team at Tureen Dermatology. Pretty cool. They're always looking out for me, looking out for my skin. They want to look out for you as well. July is UV Safety Awareness Month. Not that we need like a Safety Awareness Month to be aware of the challenges that UV rays can cause. We know about the dangerous sunburn. And I know if you listen to this show, you're smart enough to be wearing a quality sunscreen every day. We've run out, by the way, Tureen Dermatology, but they're awesome. Collection of sunscreen, 20% off if you check out one of their offices, any of their 11 offices. But Dr. Mohiba Tureen, who's my dermatologist, wanted you to know that UV rays also are the leading cause of wrinkles, sunspots, cancer. Dealing with skin cancer is nothing that I want to mess around with, and I go to Tureen Dermatology every year for a full body skin check. That's what they're calling the schedule, because they know every year I got to come in and make sure that none of the marks or moles or anything that I need to be worried about. My dad has had a number of skin cancerous growths removed, and I don't want it to fester, you know? Get that peace of mind. Take care of your skin. Take care of yourself. Visit the experts. 11 locations. There's one close to you. Find the closest. One spot where you can request an appointment, and new patients get in within 3 weeks. Pretty awesome. Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
All right. It's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off black tag, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples. That was easy.
Someone had a birthday.
50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just one dose.
Hey, Monica?
And millions have already gotten it.
Hey, Chris Tubbs, I'm producing. I just wanted to make sure that
Don't
you
get
can
Prevnar
hear
20
me.
if you
and,
have a severe allergy to its
everything should be
ingredients.
good.
A
So I'll
weakened
just
immune
bring you
system
up
may lower
when
your response.
when
Common side
the
effects
segment
include
starts. We're
injection
going to
site
knock out
pain
a
and
traffic
swelling,
and a weather
fatigue,
here
headache,
in
muscle
about
and joint
15
pain.
seconds.
For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com.
Okay, and if
or
you
talk
want
to your
to turn
doctor
on
or
your camera, you
pharmacist.
can.
I'm on Prevnar 20.
No, I'm good. What's that?
Good idea. Happy
Okay.
50th.
Time to find
No
out how it's
problem.
moving on the roads and what's
Jason
moving
wanted
in
me to
via the
convey that
skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for South 35E, Randolph down to the River Bridge, northbound 35E slows as you make way past Highway 13, heading up toward Victoria Street. Traveling 35W northbound, slow into downtown Minneapolis past 46th Street. Over on the east side, you'll find some slowing on 494 northbound, make way through Woodbury into Oakdale. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It stays hot and humid. At least the air quality improves tomorrow. Mainly clear into the overnight tonight. There will be smoke lingering. 74 the overnight low. Sunshine tomorrow. Smoke should clear out by lunchtime. 95 the afternoon high. We're still in that extreme heat warning. That goes till 9 p.m. tomorrow. So hot and humid tomorrow. This weekend, not as humid. That's going to feel awesome. Sunny, 90 Saturday, 92 on Sunday.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, it is 91 degrees, extreme heat warning in effect, and that air quality alert, hazardous air. It is worse than it was yesterday at this time, which you know if you're going outside here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's so bold. It's adventurous. It's edgy. You know, it's
risky.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
So you perhaps have followed the controversy around Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez is a legendary and iconic labor leader who over the last couple of months has been the subject of considerable reporting that Cesar Chavez was, as too many of our leaders, past and present, turn out to be problematic. Allegations surfaced that he sexually abused a number of women, including minors, over several years. And so what's been happening is states like Minnesota passed bills to rename Cesar Chavez Day. And in the city of St. Paul, Cesar Chavez Street is one of the most significant streets in the west side of St. Paul. And they have decided that they're going to rename that street in St. Paul. The West Side Community Organization in St. Paul is giving people a chance to weigh in on what a new name should be, which is sort of a cool opportunity, I think, to really examine, all right, what are we about? What do we want to honor? Or do we want to honor anything? Do we just want a cool name for a street? Joining us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline is our friend Monica Bravo, who is in charge of the West Side Community Organization. Monica, thanks for being here.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
I know you're doing the first of a handful of community meetings tonight at 6:00. Tell me, what sort of reaction have you already had from community members, from people who live in the West Side or work in that District del Sol area? Are people excited about this opportunity to give a new identity to this street?
Yes. We are holding our first session tonight. And yes, folks have been weighing in quite a bit online. People have a lot of opinions, thoughts, ideas, and feelings.
Imagine that, Monica. I'm stunned that, what sort of names do they like, or what sort of things are people throwing out there? You did a cool Instagram post just talking about like, hey, we're really going to invite people who live in this area to help redefine the identity. But some of the randos, I thought some of the ideas were pretty good. What were some that jumped out to you?
I think you are taking a look at what's popping up on our social media. And one thing that we have been monitoring closely is the possibility of having a name that really brings to life the vibrancy of the corridor. So like Calle del Sol is something that has been exciting on our end. Also, we are hearing folks bringing forward long decade family names, and we want to make sure that we let folks know that we're trying to steer away from namesakes. We dispel the myth of individualism and really believe that our community and all communities come together collectively. So collectively, we should determine what we honor and what identifies us. And we're looking for something that has some vibrancy to it and where people can feel proud of, and that this is our home and this resonates with our history and it resonates with our identity in this cultural corridor.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. I got to tell you, as over the years, we learn more and more about some of the people that we name parks for, that we name streets for. It makes me a little nervous to name anything after anybody. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, no one's perfect. We know that. And we also know that, as things come to light, it's important that we have accountability, and we feel that a responsibility to make sure that we are taking that seriously and that we are honoring the people who have spoken and that we stand with them. And there has to be an accountability. And so for us, being able to do this collectively is important.
Monica Bravo is in charge of the West Side Community Organization. I couldn't agree with that more, right? I know people get a little bent out of shape when you change a name, trying to argue that, oh, you're erasing history. To which I say, first of all, like, did you really learn about history from the name of a park or a street? I don't think so. Second of all, you're not erasing history. In fact, I do think we should be very cautious with who we choose to elevate and honor. It doesn't erase the history. It just says not every historical figure is worthy of having their name on a street, for example. It just isn't.
Right. Well, and we know that change or movements, big things that have happened in our cities and our neighborhoods and our country is far more than one person, right? There are so many people involved in the movement of the farm workers movement, so many unnamed individuals that were working hard for the success and change that happened. And so we want to make sure that we remember that it takes all of us. It takes a village. And so we want to honor what can we put forward together.
You know it's going to be contentious because we can't name anything or change any symbol. And to a certain degree, I actually appreciate how passionate people get about this stuff. It does show that it matters. It shows that people care about their community and their neighborhood. But so how's this going to go? You're going to have a couple of listening sessions. What's the process here?
Yeah. And just to your point, I appreciate and love that passion as well. And so we want to make sure that folks have an opportunity to share how they feel. Sure. We want to listen. And we pulled together a steering committee with the district council that's comprised of some board members, community anchor partners, businesses along the corridor strip. And through that process, we selected to work with a group called New Publica. New Publica will be the group to facilitate the 3 listening sessions, and they will synthesize the data and then see what rises to the top. So these listening sessions will also not only be in person, but we have an online survey that people can take, ultimately culminating in a top 3 kind of identification and then vote. So we hope to have a name selected by Mexican Independence Day in September. And that's our timeline and our process.
If you go to WSCO, Westside Community Organization.org,
yes.
/street renaming, you can get right to that information. You're really trying to stick this to people who have like a legit connection to the West Side, right?
Correct. So we are welcoming. It's a major corridor in our city. We know that folks frequent the area, drive through the area.
Sure.
So we are opening this up to people who have the connection. However, when it comes down to actual decision making and the actual final vote, we will have that be from the residents and businesses within 55107 directly.
All right. So people like me who love going to El Burrito Mercado or the brand new coffee shop that you have open right there,
Yes.
you can weigh in on that initial process, but then the vote, I think that seems very reasonable, right? The vote should be for people who work or live in that zip code. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes. So we certainly welcome folks to be able to weigh in, and then ultimately the neighborhood will decide.
Pretty cool stuff. Monica, be ready to take the incoming when people are going to be fired up about this. I think tonight is the first meeting. It's 6 to 8 at the Wellstone Center right there, right?
Correct. All sessions are being held at the Wellstone Center, and we welcome that. We welcome the passion, and we want to have
be nice. Don't be yelling at Monica. She's doing her best. My goodness. Don't tell these people you welcome the passion, Monica. You should see my social media messages. I don't know that you want to welcome all of that.
Well, I think we can get together and have some respectful dialogue.
There we go.
I think it will be okay.
I like it. I think it's terrific. Good luck to you guys, and I know you'll come up with something great that represents the West Side and that District del Sol, and a name that honors really the amazing American stories that have played out in that part of St. Paul. Such an anchor, so many legendary families and businesses starting right in that area. So from the Friases to the, I mean, it's just a great corridor over there. So Monica, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing this information.
Absolutely. Pretty cool. Monica Bravo from the
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
North 169 jammed up. Rockford Road as you head up to I-94. 94 eastbound, watching some slowdowns from Zane, heading out toward Highway 252. West 94 remains slow as make way into downtown Minneapolis as we move past Riverside over in St. Paul. Southbound 35E, that's a slow ride. Victoria Street heading down to the River Bridge. Terry Peterson, New Talk ATO, WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast. Drive Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Maybe you wanna give me kisses sweet, but only for one night with no repeat. And maybe you'll go away and never call, and a taste of honey's worse than none at all. Oh, little girl, in that case I don't want no part. I do believe.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all have different skills, things that make us unique. And in the Minnesota Army National Guard, we combine all of that for a common mission, serving our home. I am Sergeant First Class Daphne Awasonia from Robbinsdale. We know strength isn't found alone. It comes when all of us fight for the same goal. When that goal is protecting what matters most, there is nothing stronger. What will you bring to help us build that strength? Go to nationalguard.com/Minnesota to see how you can get started today.
Paid for by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Brought to you by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Still live, still local, still listening. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis St. Paul.
Renewed strikes between the U.S. and Iran continuing. The U.S. targeting ships trying to reach Iranian ports, and Iran also launching and targeting U.S. assets in the region. The stalemate in the strait leading to uncertainty for oil and shipping. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president wants Iran to open the strait.
President Trump is not going to sit by and allow these acts of terrorism to take place in the strait without ensuring Iran pays consequences for that. And that's what we are witnessing right now.
In a few hours, the president will deliver a speech. Leavitt says his remarks will focus on election integrity ahead of the midterms. ABC's Rachel Scott has more on the president's speech.
Sources say the president is expected to detail information he says he received from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence related to the 2020 election. Of course, President Trump has long pushed conspiracy theories and false claims about the 2020 election, which he lost.
In Texas Hill Country, high river rescues continuing due to flash flooding. The governor says one person died. Dozens of others have been rescued. ABC's Jim Ryan on the challenges.
The swiftwater rescue crews pre-positioned along the Guadalupe River are being put to the test today.
There's that elderly couple that's trapped in their house. I don't know if we can get to them or not.
I've got many boat crews that are ready to go over there.
The audio from Broadcastify. The state has deployed more than 800 vehicles and 1,300 personnel for rescue and recovery efforts, with more help coming from Louisiana and Oklahoma.
The CDC tracking cases of cyclosporiasis across 34 states, 7,000 cases nationwide, with more than half of those cases centered in Michigan.
The epicenter is in Michigan, where doctors tell us they typically see less than 50 cases per year. Now it's up to 600 per day. Health officials there say the outbreak could be tied to lettuce or salad greens, but nationwide, federal officials still have not identified a cause.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice because you're not every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments. Just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life? Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot, because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
Wildfires in Canada triggering health alerts across the Midwest and Northeast. Drifting smoke setting in along with the heat dome. In western states, the threat of wildfires in parts of California leading utility companies to take precautions.
When wildfire conditions become dangerous here in California, it's now routine for power companies to proactively shut off electricity. So if power lines come down, they don't start wildfires that run and can be deadly in high wind. Pacific Gas and Electric has shut off power in areas east and south of the San Francisco Bay Area. Southern California Edison has turned off the power for about 450 customers in Santa Barbara County. The heat and wind should improve going into the weekend, allowing the electricity to be turned back on. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Officials with Prediction Trading Market, Kalshi, have notified federal regulators this week that they plan to allow users to bet on the percentage of on-time or delayed flights at airports nationwide. That's drawing fierce criticism from airline experts. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Airlines for America, though, the trade group representing the nation's air carriers, says it has serious concerns. Writing in a statement, the safety and security of the aviation system should never be treated as a betting proposition. The industry also warns that these bets could give bad actors an incentive to find ways to get flights canceled so they can win big.
Kalshi's proposal is now in the hands of regulators. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Things are slow for West 94 to Minneapolis as you come in from Riverside. If you're driving 694 westbound, typical slowdowns there. Highway 10 heading out to Highway 252. If you're traveling south 169, things are congested between 494 and Old Shakopee Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast. Broadcasting from the Brief Insanity Studios, this is News Talk 830 WCCO. The comfiest pajamas, boxers, blankets, and more from Brief Insanity. They're all available at Ficus and Fig in Burnsville or online at briefinsanity.com. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
ABC Entertainment News.
The thing I like the best about MMC is all the kids.
From 1989 to 1996, Disney Channel's Mickey Mouse Club introduced us to future stars Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling. Now Disney Plus has ordered a pilot for a reboot of the series with a whole new cast of young talents. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
Did I do that?
Family Matters star Jaleel White hosts HGTV's new renovation series, Totally 90s House, which has fellow 90s TV stars like Brian Austin Green, Joey Lawrence, Melissa Joan Hart, and Jodie Sweetin updating 90s era houses. It debuts August 26th.
I am no soldier.
Based on true events, the new movie, The Uprising, stars Andrew Garfield as a farmer who leads a revolt against England's King Richard II in the year 1381. It hits theaters September 11th. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
For me, did you click
Oh,
a button?
there we go. Now let's
There we
try
go.
that. Yeah,
Now we're back. It's all good.
This
yeah,
is why I don't work during the day.
It's all right. We have a lot of buttons. Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the thing, and it was fine. In fact, my next colonoscopy, I don't see any reason that I need to be. I don't need to be under, because it's fine. I don't know. For me, it was fine. Now, obviously, there's numbing that happens in the relevant area because I didn't feel anything, but I was up and enjoyed. What was nice is they brought over Milk Duds and some popcorn, and so I could watch the show.
So wait a minute. So let me get this straight. You are eating Milk Duds while you're having a colonoscopy.
Maybe the wrong candy.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding that.
May have chosen. Well, at this point, the camera's already doing whatever it's doing. I don't know. I don't know the full science of this stuff. No, they did not bring over.
That's pretty
snacks.
That's pretty fascinating. So how long did the whole procedure? How long did it take? Like the whole colonoscopy? Because normally I'm
part
out
of it.
and I don't
was
remember.
asleep. It's
Like,
pretty brief. I
Okay.
think like it's 15 minutes or so. I don't know. Somebody can text in. But I just like the humor. You know what I mean? I like the idea of you get a colonoscopy and there's somebody waiting for you at the end with a sign that says, "Hope your anus is okay." Texter says, "I was awake for mine 20 years ago. The whole thing, not a good memory, LOL." Another texter says, "My colonoscopy doc told me someone left him a note between the cheeks that said, 'We've been trying to reach you regarding your vehicle's extended warranty.'" Now, I've never thought about leaving a little comedy for the doctor. That is intriguing. Give the colonoscopy. What would you put on the note? That's a pretty good joke if someone really did that. So think about that at 651-461-9226. Kurt is in New Richmond, Wisconsin. Kurt, I'm be cautious, but you're on CCO.
I will be. My last colonoscopy, I had a new doctor, and I told him, I said, I like to, watch some of it. Well, my previous two were by the same doctor. He brought me out of it in the middle of it. I could look at the screen for a little while because it's on the screen. You can see the camera going through your body.
Right.
So this time, the new guy, he took it as I wanted to watch the whole thing, so I never went under.
Oh my!
The whole thing.
The whole deal?
The whole deal.
Was it? I mean, there was some numbing or something, right?
No, you're just kind of a little bit of a daze, but
yeah.
No, there was a couple of times there where he had to make a corner with the camera and a little extra shoving.
Woo, a little bit of a whoa, got one of those. Yeah.
So I was actually kind of shocked myself. I'm like, oh, I didn't need to be awake for the whole thing.
Right.
But I was, and yeah, it's kind of fascinating.
How'd you look, Kurt?
Well, I did. I had to tell the doctor that I did drink all my tea, but there was one kernel of corn floating down the canal.
Yeah. I mean, you really get the full live picture. Kurt, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Jeff, you're on CCO. Jeff, have you ever been awake to see the show?
No, I have not. I was going to ask you if you recall a couple, 3 years ago when you were throwing out these little verbal clips of callers.
Yeah.
And there was one guy that, you'd lead into the Jason show and he said, I'd rather have a colonoscopy. Remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah. So
that was me.
That was you. Indeed.
Yeah.
And here we are again with we are probably the Twin Cities leader in colonoscopy talk,
We probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how Jeff just said we, like he's on the staff, like he's on the payroll. Oh, he might be on the payroll.
Jeff had the bit. He had the clip.
My first colonoscopy, my son was my driver. And after, they let me out after waking up and everything, I went by the discharge desk and they handed me a rose. I didn't say anything. I got into my son's truck and I said, here's a rose. Give this to your girlfriend. He said, where'd you get that? And I said, they just handed it to me. And I said, I don't trust anybody that gives me a flower after they've had something in my butt. And I said, you don't have to tell her where you got it either.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks, Jeff.
And don't worry about anybody coming up with something because I've got the dump button ready.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I had other topics, but we're going to stick with this. So many good texts. Brian, stay on the line. 651-461-9226. All started because of the sign made for my friend Ann Catherine. Hope your anus is okay. I'm here to report, at least dispatch from her. All clear. All clear. Hit the button.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
There is no clear transition, and so we will just pick up the pieces and move forward and encourage you to have a pork chop for dinner. Is Jason here? Now, assuming you're not prepping, right? You can't, I don't recall the exact diet, but I don't think Minnesota pork is part of the equation. Although the last time I had a colonoscopy, you know what my first meal was? Pork tenderloin. Oh, yeah. You better believe it. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. That is the website where you can find so many recipe inspirations and ideas. We did have Minnesota pork for dinner last night. We bought the pork from a Minnesota farmer at the St. Paul Farmers Market. Had 2 bone-in pork chops. They were juicy. They were flavorful. They were delicious. Just seasoned them with some salt, pepper, garlic. Threw them on the grill. Yeah, I grilled out last night. Why not? It's great, man. 3,000 family farmers. You're supporting them. You're eating right. Feels good. Get your grocery store, your butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch a new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Granger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
He creates a narrative that is advantageous to him. And frankly, at times it's disturbing.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I had no idea that colonoscopy talk would be such a hit with you guys, but why not? 651-461-9226. Texter says, my doctor said I woke up, looked over my shoulder, and said, "You're not Lisa, my wife." And then I went back to sleep. Now that would be horrifying if you woke up in the middle of the colonoscopy, said something like that, and then gonzo.
Because it's so innocent. And that would be a natural reaction because when you're still coming out of anesthesia,
right?
Like, I mean, you don't have your bearings. So you're just going to say what's on your mind. Like there's no filter.
It's pretty good. Let's go to the phones. We've got Brian in Circle Pines. Brian, you're on CCO. Go ahead.
Hey, Jason, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm 54, and in my first and hopefully only colonoscopy, I had my wife write down exit only in Sharpie on my lower back and had an arrow pointing down to the holes.
Yeah,
so,
that's perfect. That's very funny. That is very funny. What did the doctor say?
I wasn't awake for any of it, but when I woke up, the doctor came in and said they heard us laughing 3 doors down.
Brian, glad you're all clear. Very good. Greg and Bruton is on CCO. Greg, thanks for calling. Your colonoscopy leader. Go ahead. Oh, there we go. Now we got you up. Greg, sorry. Start over. Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, thanks for that. I just got a story. A good friend of mine, my name is Scott Nelson. He went in to have a colonoscopy, and they got ready for the procedure. The doctor asked him, "So, do you have any questions before we do the procedure?" And Scott said, "Well, I only have one. Will I be able to dance after this procedure?" And the doctor said, "Well, sure you will." And he said, "Great, I can't dance now."
Very nice.
Just a little joke.
Very good. Thank you, Greg. Eric is in St. Paul. Eric, you get the last word on this hot colonoscopy topic. Who knew? Who knew this was going to resonate so much with everybody? Go ahead.
Hello?
Yep.
Are you there?
Yep. I'm here. You're on, buddy. Go for it.
So I'm 53. When I was 34, I had symptoms, and doctor ordered a colonoscopy. I wound up coming out of that. I was stage 3 rectal cancer. So I've had several colonoscopies since then. The rest of them have remained clear, cancer-free since 2007. And right now I have a colostomy.
Oh, that's how important it is to get these done, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes a little humor and a little demystifying it for folks so they realize it's not that scary. It certainly could end up revealing something and hopefully saving your life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Eric, I'm glad you're around and glad you called. Thank you. That's Eric. Lots of texts. When I had my colonoscopy, I didn't wake up until a half hour after it was over. I guess I needed some sleep from the night before. Another texter, my husband is an eye doctor, and we both had colonoscopies, one after another on the same day. He had his first without any meds, which is crazy if you ask me. When it was my turn, seeing the inside walls of my colon on the screen, I said, that looks like an inverted eyelid with those tiny little bumps. And the doctor said, that's exactly what your husband said. And I added, well, he's an eye doctor, if you didn't know. So everything gets compared to that for sure. Pretty fun. Very good. Thank you all for calling and, get your colonoscopy. All of this started because we were talking about
you talked about a message about your friend's anus. That's how it started.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Marconi Award winning right here.
I think we need more amusing signs during required medical checks, right? That's pretty good. All right, we're going to take a break. The smoke is a major factor all throughout Minnesota, throughout much of America right now. We're in an air quality alert. Some of the worst air quality we've had in Minnesota in my 20 plus years living here. Restaurants, patios, outdoor activities are closing. One of those restaurants is Sea Salt, which is just an absolute treasure of Minnesota, of Minneapolis. And Sea Salt has just published a cookbook. Pretty cool stuff. So we're going to talk with one of the owners and one of the authors of the cookbook when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, summer checklist. Buy charcoal, mow lawn, fix dock, book campsite, find bug spray. Find stronger bug spray. Large tub of hydrocortisone cream.
Summer in Minnesota comes with a lot to keep track of.
Check weather, check road construction, check twin schedule. Check if the cooler smells weird. Get new cooler.
But one thing you can cross off right now, knowing where to get news, weather, Twins baseball, and everything Minnesota. Stay connected. Here, News Talk 830 WCCO.
David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. People will spend a year planning their big vacation. Take the same care when it comes to your retirement plan. Listen Saturday at 11 on WCCO.
Get your clubs ready for the 39th Annual Northfield Ducks Unlimited Golf Tournament at Willinger's Golf Club on Thursday, July 23rd. Enjoy a day of golf, raffles, hand-rolled cigars, a silent auction, and even an AR golf ball launcher. Register today and support wetlands conservation. Visit mndu.org.
This is Laura Oakes letting you know my friends at Lindus Construction are offering 75% off installation labor on Leaf Guard brand gutters and GAF asphalt shingles through July. Get in touch with Lindus today, 844-9-LINDUS or lindusconstruction.com.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month, sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility. Now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
If you need to sell a house and you want it done now, and you want to skip the hassles, let me show you how. Join the Red Check Club and sleep well tonight. Join the Red Check Club and save your precious time. Get a guaranteed cash offer and don't look back. Go to ChrisLindon.com and then start to pack.
Have you ever reached for a Cheers when your favorite song comes on? You're ready to embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. Hazy, citrusy, smooth.
Hey, Kait, are you there?
Sweet, hoppy, but not bitter. America's best tasting hazy IPA.
Yep, sorry, I'm here.
Hazy Little Thing.
No, that's okay.
Enjoy responsibly.
This is Chris. I'm producing for Jason. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just waiting for Gail to make her way up. She's going to be up here momentarily. We're going to have a traffic and a weather here in just a little bit.
A thorough inspection.
Okay,
Put
cool.
together a plan that kept us covered ever since. No shortcuts, no guesswork, just real expertise and results you can count on. That's why WCCO stands behind Valor Pest Solutions. Because when other companies came up short, they got it right.
Raise the mainsail, trim the jib, shiver me timbers.
We're in a nautical mood.
It's always smooth sailing in the trades.
All bites.
Borofka's easy breezy trade-in policy. Trade in an old piece of furniture. Receive $100 off the Craftsman Direct purchase price of beautiful Borofka's furniture.
So if I have an end table that doesn't fit my decor,
trade it in for $100 off anything $2,000 or more. Bedroom, dining room, home office. Turn any piece of furniture you'd like to get rid of into $100 off a new piece of Borofka's furniture.
it's a great.
All right, and Gail is here and she's in studio.
Solid American-made furniture.
Awesome.
And
Glad you made it
save
good.
money at the same time.
Lower the boom and make some room when you trade up at Borofka's.
Oh, Jim. Borofka's, no gimmicks, haggling, or hard to understand pricing. In Woodbury and Burnsville. Decidedly smooth sailing.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Press on the south side of the Metro 35W southbound 106th Street. The activity is off to the right side. You're slowing between 98th Street heading down to Clip Road. Highway 13 eastbound watching slowdowns there. Washburn Avenue over 235W. 494 eastbound jammed up between the Bush Lake Roads and 35W. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Services. We know the smoke is an issue, but relief is coming. Just not till tomorrow. Here's Chris Schaefer.
It stays hot and humid. At least the air quality improves tomorrow. Mainly clear into the overnight tonight. There will be smoke lingering. 74 the overnight low. Sunshine tomorrow. Smoke should clear out by lunchtime. 95 the afternoon high. We're still in that extreme heat warning. That goes till 9 p.m. tomorrow. So hot and humid tomorrow. This weekend, not as humid. That's going to feel awesome. Sunny, 90 Saturday, 92 on Sunday.
Air quality alert in effect, 92 degrees right now. It is hot. It is smoky. It is unpleasant here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
It is the Minnesota restaurant I think most associated with summer. It is such to the point that the date that Sea Salt Eatery announces that it is opening becomes a major event. And so when I found out that Kait Ziemer-Davis, along with her mother-in-law, Gail Rosenblum, were writing a cookbook, Sea Salt Eatery, Recipes to Enjoy Year-Round, I could not wait to have them both on the show. And Gail is with us in studio, and Kait is stuck at Sea Salt because, Kait, the smoke affected you guys, right?
Yeah, big time. We obviously, when we're open, our doors are also all wide open, and it just didn't seem like a good day to ask our employees to come in, and hopefully all of our customers understand and are staying home and staying put.
Yeah, nobody wants to go wait in line at Minnehaha Park right now. That is for sure. Gail and Kait, it's so good to have you with us. The Sea Salt Eatery, I think, cookbook is going to be a gift for people who crave and miss so many of your items. But Gail, what I love most about this cookbook is that you also get some of the history, because it is sort of a crazy thing that we have this seafood restaurant I know, like, it's by the falls, it's by water, but we're not getting anything out of the Mississippi River for this place.
Well,
It was really a pleasure to work on this with Kait. And you are right. It is the location. It is the food. It's just the carnival atmosphere there. It's all of it, I think, that makes it such a great place in the summer for everybody to go to. And you're right. People know for the first day it opens, people make plans to get there.
Kait, tell me about your history with sea salt.
I started there in 2010. I had a friend who was working there and I needed a job. So I think I walked in one day and got hired the same day and started the next, and just kept going back season after season. I had a little brief hiatus in the middle of my time there where I only spent a few hours each season, but it was just always home. So I ended up making my way back the summer of COVID as a manager. And then we're in the middle of the fourth season since I became an owner.
What is it like being a part of a restaurant that has so much emotion, so many traditions for people? The food is part of it, but I don't know. It's so much more than just the food, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's really, really special. And that getting to read the things that Gail wrote from interviewing our regulars, interviewing past employees and, old friends, it was so special because we have they're different, but we have our own traditions inside of sea salt. And so that camaraderie and that magic is there for us too. And so getting to hear that they sync up on both sides is a really special gift that I feel like I wasn't expecting getting from doing this cookbook with Gail.
Now, Gail is a longtime writer, editor, columnist, retired from the Minnesota Star Tribune. But
right down the street.
Right down the street? Yes. But when you started digging into this, because you loved it as a guest and having your daughter-in-law work there and now own it, but it's different when you dig into it to try to figure out, all right, let's get to the heart of it.
Absolutely. And Kait really helped me because she gave me lists and lists of people that she thought I might be interested in interviewing. So the regulars, and I call them the sea salt groupies, the employees come back season after season, people from the park board, the original owners, and history too. I dug into the history of the place because the building that everybody knows and comes to, they may not be aware, but that building has been there for over 100 years. It's just that in the last 20 years, it's become this wonderful place called Sea Salt Eatery, but it's been there and it has a funny, interesting, and often very funny past. Lots of funny stories about it, decades and decades ago. So for me, I didn't really know what I was going to find, and I just kept uncovering more and more gems as I was going along. And so, Jason, as a journalist, it's just so much fun when you don't really know what you're going to get, and it's just better than you hoped.
Yeah, you talk about that history because, if you've only lived here, I've been here for 23 years. And so it's hard for me to think about a time before sea salt. But of course, it's a very old building, which provides challenges. I'm sure
Kait can tell you about that.
Right? I mean, it's a tough environment. You can't really expand it beyond what it is, although there have been some expansions over the years, right?
We've certainly done some expansions. The most probably the one that had the biggest effect was adding a beer cooler in the basement and kind of pushing out so that we had an actual dish room. Our dish room used to be what we now refer to as the chip pit. It's just this tiny little galley that had a glassware dishwasher. So everything was by hand. That was definitely the biggest thing. But we're like packed to the gills in there all of the time. And that's one of the most fun things to play with, though, is just constantly trying to reorganize, make us more efficient. And so the challenges of it, I think, are actually, it's nice because there's never a minute to be bored there.
That's Kait Ziemer-Davis, one of the owners of Sea Salt Eatery, a chef. Gail Rosenblum is with us. They both wrote the
the cookbook Sea Salt Eatery Recipes to Enjoy Year-Round. So, Gail, when you talk to the regulars,
Yeah.
You called them the SSGs,
I call them
right? The sea salt groupies.
Yeah, they're groupies.
What were there recipes where they were like, oh man, I would die to get this recipe?
You know what's funny? They were delighted and a little surprised that we were writing a cookbook. Because when I reached out to them, I said, you're the ones that Kait gave me your names. Would you be willing to talk? Everybody to a person said yes. And what was funny is they would show up with their swag, their sea salt, their neck warmers and their T-shirts. It was hilarious. It's like it was a baseball team or something. And not only did they love the food, but they would tell me exactly what they order. What every time what their go-to, and they tell you specifically what kind of beer they drink with it, or what. It's just really sweet. They told me what days they're there. If it's an anniversary or birthday. They just are so connected to the place.
Kait, were you worried by giving up the recipes that, you would demystify it? Or, look, nobody wants to make this at their home. I don't want to make the watermelon gazpacho at home in the summer if I could go have it on that beautiful patio overlooking the falls. But a lot of restaurants would be nervous to put those recipes out.
Yeah, I don't think that we really were. The Cali sauce is the one thing that we didn't put in there. We had to decide to have one trade secret, but I think we chatted about it as we went along, and it's like sea salt is so much more than just the food, which I think we've talked about, and that I think is certainly a theme throughout the book. And so it's both things, right? Like, we hope that in those long winter months, people can find a little joy and a little sliver of that comfort and community that we bring in the summer. And also the things that are in the book and the things that we do at Sea Salt often are actually very simple. It's just, we're very good at doing it a lot at a time for 11 straight hours. That's part of the magic is just being open and being there and kind of helping facilitate the food to people's whole day spent in the park.
Yeah, Gail, often when you're dealing with a cookbook, you have to rework recipes, right? You have to make it so people can do it. Sometimes like kitchen instructions are not the same as home cook instructions. Right. Was there a lot of reformulation that you guys had to work on, or did it flow pretty naturally?
Well, I'll just tell one funny story, and then I'll give it to Kait, because she and her team really were responsible for. They retried every single recipe. They had to test every single recipe for a home cook. So my funny story is, since I'm not a chef, I assumed that if you made a dish, a recipe for 200 people, and you wanted to cut it down to 2 people at a home environment, you just divide by 100. You don't do that. You have to retest them over and over. So many of them, and Kait can tell you, many of the recipes, they went in, I think in the winter with her team, to recook everything, make sure that it was right for a home cook. They spent hours and hours, labored in their houses, their home kitchens.
You're testing this at home, Kait?
Make sure this was all right. But she can tell you more about that.
We had like 2 big days in the late fall a couple of years ago where we tested everything on batch sizes and got that figured out. And then I would test things that require cook times. I would test them at my house. I went over to John Blood, one of the original founding owner. We grilled the tuna and the swordfish, the catfish, a few other things on his charcoal Weber out back. So we tried to make sure that everything would make sense when you also walked into your home kitchen, not just the recipe amounts.
I'm excited your crab cake recipe is in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, as somebody who loves crab cakes, and often when you go to Minnesota restaurants, you feel like you're getting more breading than crab. And there's something about the sea salt crab cake that I think is really special. But you've got the recipe right here in the book for people to make at home, which is cool.
Yeah.
Gail,
that was one of the... Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you go ahead, Kait.
That was one of the only recipes I think that I hesitated to putting in the book, not because I didn't want people to have it, but because that is like truly John Blood's baby. He worked for years and years, and the care and attention that he puts into teaching people how to do it is the same as when he was making it. So I was really happy and a little bit surprised that he gave the green light on that one.
Kait, Ziemer-Davis, Gail Rosenblum. The book is Sea Salt Eatery, Recipes to Enjoy Year-Round. Gail, the recipe that you get the most joy out of, or you like the description or the story behind the best, which one are you most
It's going to be the ahi tuna burger because Kait knows I love it. It's my go-to when I go there. And this winter, I am committed to attempting it at home to see if I can do it.
It's such a good sandwich.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that's been on the menu forever.
Yeah,
it?
they just, it's so good.
There it is right there. Page. There's
What
the
page is it?
picture of it. Yeah. I saw the recipe. I think I'm just on the picture in the front of the book. How about you, Kait? The recipe you're most excited for people to try?
I think that making the gazpacho or the Thai tuna are really great ways for people to have something really simple to make. But my favorite recipe in the book by far is the fish sandwich, which is a take on maybe a global fast food chain's very popular sandwich.
Nameless.
That's right.
Yes,
There may or may not be an M in the name. But
Yeah.
and the fact that you can make that at home is pretty cool. I love this. Frankly, for anybody who's a fan, you're going to enjoy the read. You're going to enjoy Gail's writing.
Thank you.
But anybody who loves sea salt and sort of craves that seafood in the off season, it's a way to kind of extend that season as well. Congratulations to you both. The book is called Sea Salt Eatery. Don't go to Sea Salt today. They're closed because of the smoke. But they'll be back. Let's get that smoke out of there, and the lines will be back, and the smiles and the laughter and all the joy that I always get at that place. So glad to have you guys with us. Kait, Gail, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
You.
Pretty fun. Be a great gift, too. 449.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
When are you moving? Are you dreading your neighbors asking you that when they see a for sale sign in your yard? It's Vanita. Call my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. The Good Neighbor agent can help you sell your home for full market value. John's vast network and database of buyers helps him sell houses quickly and for top dollar. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash cleared out of the way for you. North 35E, Maryland Avenue, still slow. Goes midway through St. Paul. South 35E, that's jammed up. You move down from Rosenblum to 94, and then again you move past Victoria Street into the work zone if you head your 7. If you're traveling North 169, got your slowdowns there. Midway toward Excelsior Boulevard up to Highway 55. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast. Drive Time with DeRusha
Weird. It was startling. It's a little scary.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're gonna tell them everything. Tell them I'm a good kisser. Tell them all the things you told me in your desperate whisper. If you're gonna tell them everything, don't leave out the good part. Tell them the way that you broke my heart when you told me that you messed up.
This year, America celebrates 250 years, 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Anywhere you are, everywhere it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis.
From
St. Paul.
ABC
Streaming
News,
live
I'm
on
Michelle
the Free Odyssey
Franzen.
app.
Primary races continue across the country ahead of November's midterm elections. Tonight, President Trump addresses Americans. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says his remarks will focus on election integrity.
I think all Republicans and Democrats should recognize this should be a nonpartisan issue. If we don't have safe and secure elections in our country, we cannot have a country.
Outgoing Republican Senators Tom Tillis and John Cornyn, along with GOP Congressman Thomas Massie, says looking back on the 2020 elections is not a productive message for the midterms. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries more blunt, offering an early rebuttal.
In advance of Donald Trump's speech, let me also be clear about one thing. Donald Trump lost the 2020 presidential election. Something's really wrong with this guy. I think he actually needs to be checked out.
The longtime teleprompter operator for President Trump facing allegations that he profited off of the speeches by placing bets on the prediction market Kalshi. The White House says the operator is on unpaid administrative leave pending the investigation. Iran ramping up its strikes across the Gulf region. Kuwait Ministry of Defense says armed forces detected and intercepted 32 hostile drones within its airspace just today. The U.S., meantime, targeting Iranian defense systems and Iran-bound ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Here's ABC's James Longman.
A U.S. aircraft attacked a tanker trying to make port at Karg Island. That is the Iranian oil terminal in the Persian Gulf. CENTCOM says that it gave this tanker multiple warnings and it did not heed them. This is in breach of the blockade that the U.S. currently has on Iranian ports.
Newly released data by the Census Bureau showing that Americans were buying more cars last month, along with other things. U.S. consumers purchasing $768 billion of goods in June. Amazon's Prime Day helping push up retail sales. Bars and restaurants did not appear to benefit. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice.
Because you're not
Every
sure their
hour.
coverage
Let's get
is
you
every bit
caught
as
up with
reliable
what's
as
happening
fixed
now
wireless.
on
Why not
News
take them for
Talk
a test drive?
830
For a limited time, Pure Talk is
WCCO.
offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments. Just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Ever wonder why you have insurance for your car or home, but not your digital life?
Meet WebRoot Total Protection, your digital bodyguard that includes antivirus, identity protection, VPN, cloud backup, and more. With plans for individuals and families, WebRoot takes the guessing game out of cybersecurity so you can get back to living your best life online. Go to webroot.com/protect and get 60% off today. That's webroot.com/protect to get 60% off today. Live a better digital life with WebRoot because peace of mind shouldn't be optional.
In Texas, the investigation into last week's killing of a man by ICE agents in Houston has now been expanded. Texas Rangers launching their own probe at the request of local and state officials.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has said that Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was shot to death after he tried to run over the ICE agents who were trying to take him into custody. Now the FBI is investigating whether drugs were inside Araujo's van.
I call BS on that.
Democratic Texas State Senator Carol Alvarado.
If they had found something like that, they wouldn't wait 8 days to come out and say that.
ICE says that neither Araujo nor his passenger was the intended target of an immigration enforcement action. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Summer of travel in California in chaos due to increasing crowds at Yosemite National Park. Thousands arriving to hike and get a view of natural wonders like Half Dome and Bridal Veil Falls. ABC's Will Reeve has more.
Hikers squeezing past each other down a steep and packed cliffside at the popular Mist Trail, carefully navigating narrow staircases while lines inch past each other in both directions.
Like an amusement park, there's just people everywhere.
Hiker Mobeen Zarakari.
I did witness a lot of people slipping on the trail, actually, and I think some people got hurt.
And it's not just the trails, tree-lined roads lined with cars. In Yosemite Village, visitors say finding a parking space can take nearly an hour.
On Wall Street today, stocks ending lower. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
I'm just slow South 35W, 98th Street, heading down to the River Bridge. South 169 slows 494 to Old Shakopee Road. 494 northbound, get ready for congestion there as move up from area of Highway 62 toward 394. 694 eastbound, and up Xerxes, heading up to Central Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 8 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind.
Chris.
Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast. Don't just hear the news, understand it better. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Shut up and drive, drive, drive. Shut up and drive, drive, drive. I got class like a 57 Cadillac. That'll be driving a
Thanks for having me, Jason. Well, it doesn't need to be chaotic, Jason. I think the big issue is that we have to prepare, we have to learn, and we have to plan, and then we have to execute. I started out my outdoor career as a kid going to camps in McGregor, Minnesota. And I don't know about you, but for me, the only time I can really remember a smoke event was when Mount St. Helens blew. And I remember walking out of the door in my house in North Minneapolis. I don't know how old I was, and just seeing that red sun and just imagining that. Well, we've been having these events impact our camps, impact our workplaces since really it's been in an uptick since 2018. And 2025 was the worst yet. And the amount of fires burning in Quetico and Canada and in the Boundary Waters doesn't make this look like it's going to be a better year. Every year it's been trending up. So as an outdoor adventure guide, we learned that having a safe and enjoyable outing starts way before we're on the trail, right? Or in the canoe or in the kayak, whatever it is. It starts with training and education of our directors and our leaders, the guides that are going out in the field. And a lot of that comes with setting the right kind of philosophy about being outdoors. Being a responsible outdoors person means we know what is danger and we turn away from it. And I think sometimes we can get conflated, and especially working out in the mountains and out west, if there's lightning, you turn back, but there's always those people who think they're stronger if they carry on, right?
Right.
So we have to do some work to change the culture of what it means to be a true outdoors person, living in balance with our climate and our natural world, and with respect for life.
Linnea, do you think, look, the way that parents react to anything in the world today is very different from the way like our parents reacted to this stuff. There was more of, let's be real, like I think often parents are correct with their concerns, but often parents are freaking out about things that don't need to be freaked out about either. So when you're like we had an evacuation of a YMCA of the North Camp on Wednesday, there are YMCA campers at 2 other camps near Ely. They're being evacuated. But, there are also events coming up next week. I struggle sometimes with yes, I do think the old idea of tough it out, you'll be fine. I don't know that that's the best way to go. Conversely, I'm not sure that the hyper vigilant sort of anxiety ridden parenting style is also good for kids that we're trying to teach a little bit about persevering and surviving in the outdoors.
Helicopter parenting is not a successful tactic, and period. But we're talking about unprecedented smoke events that we didn't see. Our parents didn't see this in their lifetime. Yeah. We didn't see this as kids. I don't know how old you are. I'm 50. I didn't see that in my camp going outward bound, Boundary Waters lifetime, right?
True.
It is different, and we have to be, we're not dummies. We have so much knowledge available to us. We can be smart, and families count on professionals to tell them, here's our plan. This is when it's a risk. Here's how we evacuate. Here's how we find safe harbor. This is what we do. Here's when you should be concerned. Here's when you shouldn't be concerned. The problem is when professionals in my field fail to do that, then it is chaotic. Jason, you're right. People aren't communicating with parents proactively. This should be a policy or a protocol that parents have to sign off, that they understand and know where to find it when they register for camp, because it is so important to safety, right? We're seeing AQIs in Duluth of 800. Safe is 50.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near a fire, right?
Right.
We're seeing 400 in the metro area. So these wilderness fires are impacting the business who has construction workers on the street, the kid who's trying to go to childcare. And what people who are providing those wilderness experiences have to do is make sure that their families are informed with clear and timely communication, that they have methods. We have the technology now. There's no reason to not know where a group is. have your Garmin, your satellite phone, have a solar or a crank power generator. You don't need a whole generator, but you can charge a device by it, right? And it fits, maybe it's a couple pounds. I was doing this when I was leading trips out in the Southwest deserts of Utah in 12 years, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things enable us to be safe given the unprecedented nature of what we're experiencing in our climate and environment.
Do you think, Linnea, parents have an obligation here? Like there's a bit of a middle ground, right? Where organizations, and for sure, like I've sent my kids to summer camps and you're like, an email would be nice. Like some sort of communication would be nice. At the same time, like I'm going to confess, like I've signed waivers that I haven't read. I'm sure parents get these orientation information that they don't necessarily read until the moment comes, and then everybody's mad. Like we all maybe have to take this stuff a little more seriously, right?
Sure. And the thing is that you do these things so you have it when you need it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So maybe the parents aren't the best. I certainly would say I'd love for parents to read this stuff beforehand. I want camps to have that stuff beforehand, and oftentimes they don't. But have it so that it's there when you need it. And then the parent can refer back to it and say, man, you know what? They have their act together. They have a plan. We have to prioritize life first, right? And it's not just the kids at camps, right? These are the staff who are doing these outings, right? A lot of the time, the people leading these trips are in their 20s, right? Their parents are probably concerned too, or their partners or their friends, and they may be as well. This is, really, really significant when it comes to that. And parents and families and people, staff, need to know that their employer is taking the safety seriously and communicating openly.
Really good.
Shouldn't be something someone should be questioning.
Yeah. Really, really good insight and information. Linnea Atlas, longtime nonprofit worker, but a huge advocate for outdoor recreation, part of Minnesota's task force with the DNR on that, and a wilderness guide as well. Linnea, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get everybody home safe.
Exactly. It is reality up near Ely, up in some of the wilderness camps in Canada as well, trying to get those kids all back safely. Let's break in just a minute. I want to talk about the president's speech tonight. My question for you is simple. Do you care about the 2020 election? 651-461-9226. I'll tell you what I think in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Hey, it's Benita. We all know how great the John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty is. Moni, how did you get started working with the Schuster Group?
It started off with my husband driving to work one morning, listening to WCCO, and a commercial for the John Schuster Group came on. My main contact was Tim Sabin. They posted the listing. By the end of that day, we already had over 600 views. It was crazy. There was one offer that by far stood out way above the rest, over 10% over asking. And they had cash in bank.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
To see it just blow up like that and move so fast and to get so much more over asking, it couldn't have been a more exciting and fun time. Selling that house for 20 years, one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life. Choosing John Schuster Group, easiest decision I ever made in my life.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah. Tell me what you gonna do.
I do not care at all about the 2020 election. Don't care. Do not care. 0%. On a 0 to 10 scale, I'm at a 0. Tonight, the President of the United States will be giving a primetime address, 8 p.m. on CCO Radio. We'll carry it live. ABC, NBC not airing the Trump speech. CBS. Do we know if CBS is doing it? It'll be on ABC News Radio, so we'll have it. It'll be on ABC News Live, the streaming network, but not on Channel 5. Same bit with NBC. They're like, oh, we'll have it on the streamer, not on the big network. CBS hasn't said yet. I assume CNN and Fox News would. I sort of hope they would. That's what they do. They broadcast live news events. I do care about election security. I do care about election integrity. I have never seen any evidence of any significant unaddressed problems. Mm-hmm. And the reason that I am a 0 and not like a 3 on the how much I care about this is because the reason for all of this is incredibly cynical to me. It is about undermining people's confidence in the election. And it's been a sustained campaign by this president. Now, there have been many politicians who have questioned the results, yes. Democrats, too. There has been no one who has spent 6 years, 8 years in a sustained campaign designed to make you distrust the election. And why? If you step back and say, I wonder why a guy who won the presidency twice would be so obsessed with undermining confidence in the election. Why do you think it is? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, because then you have the full control whenever your people lose. You just drop the little election integrity bomb. Mm-hmm. You drop the wow. And I'll tell you, it has become relatively mainstream, the number of people who comment to me about the fact that, well, Republicans are never going to win elections in Minnesota because, you know, the Democrats are rigging the election and the Democrats are doing this and the illegals are voting and the this and the that and the that. Now, there are steps that I support that I think would help add more confidence in the system. But the fact that the guy who won the presidency twice is giving a primetime address tonight to talk, now we'll see what he has to say, but that he's giving again, a speech on this, instead of talking about what I think I really care about, which is the cost of living, healthcare, housing, gas prices. I mean, a million things you could talk about that I'd be like, oh, I'm very curious to hear what the president has to say about that, what the future looking. Instead, it's like Mike Lindell talking about bringing back the paper ballot, which never went away in Minnesota. We have paper ballots. But he wants a hand count. In what universe is a hand count more reliable than feeding these ballots through an electronic machine? What makes you think Marge sitting there counting ballot number 200,000, that's how is that more reliable? How does that make you feel better? And if you have hitched your wagon to this, again, I ask why. Is it because you really care about election security, or is it because you're a sore loser? Texters say the Democrats in power currently are just not serious about it, and I'm afraid they won't get serious about it if they regain power again in the state of Minnesota. So, another texter, I am very interested in the upcoming election. We can never again allow the fraud that's happened over the last 6 years to happen again. We need people who are willing to be more serious about it. How do you guys explain all the Republicans who won? How do you explain Donald Trump who won? Well, there was no fraud there. It's just asinine to me. There's massive fraud, except in a couple occasions when your guy won. What's the logic here? Now, is there fraud in our elections? Yes. Yes. There always will be a certain amount of fraud. Is there fraud that gets caught? Also, yes. There are audits that happen after the election. Is there fraud that affects the election outcome? There are so many courses of action for people who believe they were on the losing end because of fraud. I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced. Do I think we have a problem with people who are here illegally voting when they shouldn't be voting? Not really. Do I think they end up on the voter rolls? Yes. Do I think that people who are here illegally are casting ballots in a way that is making Democrats win elections that they wouldn't win otherwise? I just don't. I don't. I'm open to evidence, but you know what? I'm freaking sick and tired of being open to evidence for the last 10 years and seeing none. And to be seen as a reasonable person, you still have to be open to evidence. Well, this is how people absolutely blow up trust in our systems, and they do it so they can have power over you. Not to give you more power. It's so they can control your life. And it is so offensive to democracy to me. If there's fraud, let's find it. Let's root it out. But sitting there whining for years after you won, Well,
that's the thing, Jason. You're talking about, is it selective? Are we picking and choosing where we claim there's fraud?
Of course.
Again, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff. And there has been, this has been litigated just so much since 2020. If there is fraud, we would have seen it by now. That's the thing. So there's fraud in 2020. There's no fraud in 2024. To me, this is all about setting up for the midterms of 2026. That's the way that I see this. It's like we're now starting to sow doubt in the upcoming midterms of 2026.
Let's break. Kevin, stay on the line. If you want to weigh in on this, 651-461-9226. I am uninterested in relitigating 2020, and I'm sick of pretending that, we'll see what they find out. I'll change my mind if there's new evidence, but in the meantime, could we move forward as a country? Back in a minute on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Tesla appears to be emerging from its year-long sales slump as it reported more than 480,000 deliveries in the second quarter. That was a gain of 25% compared to a year earlier and crushed market estimates by about 75,000. The Model 3 and Model Y made up the bulk of the deliveries for Tesla, with all other models, including the Cybertruck, accounting for just over 12,000 deliveries. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Dave Lee for Aquarius Home Services. Yes, we all love summer. That is until your air conditioner starts acting more like an oven than a fridge. If your AC is on the fritz, now's the time to trade in and trade up with an additional $500 off on top of some great summer sale pricing on a new cooling system from Aquarius. Enjoy a cool, comfy home all summer long. Schedule your free estimate today at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No, my entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdown jet for South 35E, Victoria to West 7th Street, traveling 494 eastbound. Get ready for your slowdowns there, East Bush Lake Road. Heading over to Portland Avenue, 35W northbound, jammed up into Minneapolis as moved past Lake Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It is hot. It is hot, and it is still smoky out there. Extreme heat warning in effect through 9 p.m. tomorrow. Let's get the forecast from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
It stays hot and humid. At least the air quality improves tomorrow. Mainly clear into the overnight tonight. There will be smoke lingering. 74 the overnight low. Sunshine tomorrow. Smoke should clear out by lunchtime. 95 the afternoon high. We're still in that extreme heat warning. That goes till 9 p.m. tomorrow, so hot and humid tomorrow. This weekend, not as humid. That's going to feel awesome. Sunny, 90 Saturday, 92 on Sunday.
Right now in St. Paul, it is 91 degrees, partly cloudy, but the air is very unhealthy. Air quality alert in effect until tomorrow here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
Fundamentally, a non-traditional approach to talking about, learning about, and exploring the day's news.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Can you name that tune in how many notes? Oh, yeah. That's what I expect tonight. It's sort of been par for the course. It's the reason that two television networks are saying, we're going to cover it. We're going to stream it. We're going to have it here on CCO Radio so you can listen to the President of the United States tonight. But his obsession with the election, his obsession with this topic, to me, I find reminiscent of what it's like when your grandpa won't stop talking about something, even though you know, you're like, come on, man. Like, it's not that big of a deal. There's enough of a germ of real to it to keep grandpa going. But in this case, it's the President of the United States. Texters at 651-461-9226. Say, Jason, I'm completely agree with you, and I'm so mentally and emotionally exhausted by this issue that I can't even talk about it anymore. Conversely, on YouTube, one of our frequent commenters, who I wish would have a different username, if it were up your beep, you'd know, is not great. Not great. Says, really? Do you care about the 2020 election? You believe your listenership is so embarrassingly disconnected from expecting any type of leadership out of your government that you have to ask. Those who aren't interested in where the 6 million Democrat voters went between 2020 and 2024 are the very reason why Minnesota is a national embarrassment. Yes, where did those voters go?
Hitting all the talking points, they will say that.
So is it possible that 4 million Democrat voters did not show up because they're mad about Israel and Palestine? They were not inspired by Kamala Harris. They were not happy with the fact that there was no real process. There was a coronation. I think there are lots of reasonable reasons why people stay home. It's the same reason that if Mike Lindell ends up as the Republican candidate for governor in Minnesota, that I bet you're going to see a lot fewer Republican voters coming out than you would the last time around. Because people vote based on who they're excited to vote for, and sometimes they're not that excited anymore. Texters, ever since 2020, Trump has influenced Republicans to think there is a problem with elections. It's ridiculous. They're sore losers. What do you say to that? Kevin in Anoka, who is at 651-461-9226. Kevin, I know you're a big Trump supporter, but I bet even you wish you were talking about other things. There are lots of things that Donald Trump brings up that I think has much more widespread support.
I'm going to go with a mild Trump supporter. But I think if you're going to complain about the elections, you should offer solutions. You show an ID to vote. When you register to vote, your proof of citizenship is required. And if you want to count the ballots by a machine, I have no problem with that. But there needs to be a paper ballot, and the paper ballots need to be serialized. No more of this somebody, I just found 6,000 votes in the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
The ballots need to be serialized. And from the moment those ballots are printed until they're put into storage, somebody has to maintain custody of those ballots 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I think we've often, because of the way our elections are run by counties and small units of government, in some parts of the country, I think things are even more. Now, I happen to think things in Minnesota are not very chaotic at all when it comes to elections. It's usually pretty boring. I think I've worked in other parts of the country, though, where It's cities running elections. It can be amateur hour. It is part of the charm of our sort of the fact that we're 50 states and all these units of government. But in a modern era, I agree with you, Kevin, that it can and should be modernized and done in a more secure and safe manner. That may mean that you're going to have to spend a lot more money on elections. I think people need to be ready for that. But I do think, unfortunately, because we spent the last 6 to 10 years making everyone doubt the security of elections, I do think we got to spend the money, and we do have to put in some of these tighter methods that Kevin's talking about.
And the other thing that I would do, if you say you don't have enough voter machines and there's too much of a line, voting starts on Friday. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So you've basically quintupled the amount of time for voting. If you have decided not to go to vote and you've had almost a week to get to the polls, then you're not interested. The only people who should be getting mail-in ballots is people who are working overseas or they're attending college out of state, or you're in a hospital and you can't walk. Other than that, you go to the polls.
I agree with that, Kevin. I know Tubbsy does not agree with that. I think mail-in voting is a solution to a problem that never existed. And all of these things we've done in the name to increase voter turnout, actually, if you look at the data, it hasn't had much of an impact on turnout one way or the other. So I do think that you should, I like your idea of having a multiple election day. I've said, like, I'd be in favor of moving election day to a Saturday and making it a holiday or something, but move it to a Saturday. Having a multiple day election, I think that would be fine too. I'm in favor of voter ID. I don't think it solves much of a problem because I don't believe there is much of a problem, but I do think we're at the point where most reasonable Americans think voter ID makes sense. It's just reality. Thanks, Kevin. Sharon and Egan is on CCO Radio. Sharon, what level, 1 to 10 or 0? My level was 0. What level of interest do you have in what happened during the 2020 election?
Hi.
Hi there. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay. First of all, no, I'm not going to listen to Trump because I can't stand listening to Trump. So never mind. And he doesn't have anything I need to hear. And also, I would like to say that no troops get tested for this testosterone unless Hegseth and Trump are also tested.
Well, and they have to release it. We want to know the number. We want to know. I do think, like, we can normalize as you get older, your testosterone level drops a bit. I think that's okay. That's okay. I do wonder with this administration when they're saying that if people test for low T, that they'll be given the opportunity to have testosterone replacement therapy. It does make me a little nervous that they'll be offered the Donald Trump testosterone therapies, that it's going to be some sort of scam in that way.
Well, they better test him.
Yeah.
I want to be sure he's tested.
Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate it. You know, I get the humor. I get the idea of that, but I also think I went and got, Livia does this stuff. So I went and got tested for testosterone because, you know, once you get older, it's a reasonable thing to be curious about.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was whatever. I was in the normal. I was fine. I wasn't low. And they told me, I'm like, well, would there be benefit? They're like, you shouldn't be taking a therapy for something that you don't need if you're not feeling any of the symptoms. And they're like, no, having super T doesn't get anything done.
Yeah. You know, when it comes, I'm going to circle back to the mail-in voting and whatnot.
Yeah.
See, I understand where Kevin's coming from, where maybe there should be, you know, exceptions for it. I grew up in an area where it's very isolated at times, and you are a good, 40 to 50 miles away from the next, municipality.
Right.
So there are some people that have problems with transportation.
Yeah.
Some people that have health issues that prevent them from getting
But
out.
that's not what most of the mail-in voters are. It's people who are lazy and have decided that they just want the most convenient way of voting ever.
Well, and if you get your ballot and you get it early and you turn it around and you send it in, like what is to me, I voted in person and I voted by mail. And to me, there's never been an issue with it.
Yeah.
Until we've got some sort of, I mean, it worked for the longest time. And now in 2020, all of a sudden there's an issue.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. Well, the whole thing is bogus. But what they've done is they've successfully convinced people that there is a problem. And so now you have to make a choice. Do you take measures to address the fact that Americans genuinely believe there are problems, there are vulnerabilities, there are problems?
Well, and I think that's a small amount of the population that is actually believing that there is an issue with mail-in voting. I think for the most part, people look at it and they're like, well, we do have counties that do things differently and states do things differently. But like you said, that's just the magic of how this country was, how these elections are run.
Right.
There's always going to be, issues on the edges. But as for a fundamental issue, there's just never been anything. And I much rather vote in person. Like if I have the opportunity, but there are times when schedules work. I mean, it precludes me. It's like, it's just easier. Do it, put it in the mail. And it's convenience. It's not fraud. It's convenience.
Yeah. In my view is just, it's convenience that it isn't necessary. Like you could carve out for people who really, really need it. But your general point is right. It is sort of pathetic that I even have to say that there's a reason to change it when the whole basis for this discussion and argument is sort of nonsense. So there is that. All right, let's break. It's 5:49. Matthew Collar is filling in for Henry Lake. And I'm just seeing some breaking news on it's explosive diarrhea related breaking news. Can you eat your salad? Maybe your bag salad. We'll tell you the breaking news in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Chris Lindahl would love to buy your house. It's Jason here for my friend, Arms Wide Out. You know Chris Lindahl. I trust Chris Lindahl. He's my friend. I've known him for a long time. He's a Minnesotan. He cares about getting you to the easiest solution when it comes to selling your house. Now, right now, the real estate market is tough. It is. Homes are sitting unsold, taking price reduction after price reduction. It's taking time, money, stress, headaches. Why? Many reasons. Some of it is lack of supply, has people really picky. Some of it is interest rates, have people holding out for more. If you want to sell your house and just be done with it, go to chrislindahl.com. If you're thinking about selling your house in the next couple of months, go to chrislindahl.com. The Big Red Check is more and more popular because more and more Minnesotans are saying, I don't want the stress. I don't want the headaches. I trust Chris Lindahl. I know Chris Lindahl. You should trust him too. Big Red Check, guaranteed cash offer. Makes sense for so many people. Get a free smart seller guide. Start the conversation. You can do it online. It costs you nothing. No obligation. Get to chrislindahl.com.
Here's a World Soccer Championship preview.
Brought to you by Lowe's. Members get more at Lowe's. And by the first ever Infiniti QX65. A battle of contrasting styles makes Spain against Argentina an intriguing final. Spain's been historically good defensively, allowing only 1 goal in 7 games. Lionel Messi can make a final claim at tournament MVP. Argentina has 19 goals in their first 7 games. 2 of them were comeback wins. I'm Mike Conti.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
You know the feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. And tell them Jordana sent you.
With the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card, earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Sometimes historic events suck. But what shouldn't suck is learning about history. I do that through storytelling. History That Doesn't Suck is a chart-topping history-telling podcast, chronicling the epic story of America, decade by decade, from the 18th century to the 20th. Original music and immersive sound design accompany us on our storytelling journey. Listen to and follow History That Doesn't Suck, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Couple of problems for the West Metro. North 169 near Betty Crocker Drive. Looks like it's just a stall, but it is off the left side, helping to slow you down and make way toward 394. North 100 as make way toward Highway 55. Got a two-car crash working off the left side, into the left lane a little bit. Traffic slows as you come up from 394. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Chris Schaefer wants you to know that this smoke is going to clear out tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, smoky though, low only 74. That is hot. Extreme heat warning goes through 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Tomorrow is 95, sunny, humid, partly smoky. Saturday, sunny, less humid, 90. Yeah, it's summer, baby. That is for sure. Air quality alert in effect. It is 91 on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's give you a Continental Diamond time check. It is 5:55. ContinentalDiamond.com. They are my headquarters for pre-owned luxury timepieces. Amazing selection. Got great engagement rings, birthday presents. Get to the locally owned, family-owned ContinentalDiamond.com. I have 2 bags of bag salad sitting in my refrigerator because I'm afraid to eat it because of the explosive diarrhea, the cyclospora outbreak. And just within the last hour, CNN has reported that iceberg lettuce at Taco Bell has been linked to the outbreak. I know it.
Oh.
First of all,
They need Taco Bell.
I barely knew that there was a vegetable in your Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Shredded iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms, and that is the name on the bagged lettuce or the bagged salads that I have.
Oh, that's a fairly well-known brand.
I like their salads.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat salads, so I'm not worried.
This is what Dan Cook always says. Dan says, I'll tell you what you never get sick from. At least you never get like cyclospora or whatever, any of the other stuff. Frozen pizza.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, that's about right. It's 7,000 cases confirmed or under investigation, 6 times higher than they were at this time last year, 141 hospitalizations. Crazy. So Taco Bell saying that they have removed some ingredients from their store as a precautionary measure. But not great. Not great.
Yeah,
but it is nerve-wracking. We had
for sure.
We had kale last night that we bought at the St. Paul Farmers Market. Like that felt safe, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, Kyler and I were talking about just the difference between farmers markets and just the supermarkets. Like we were just talking about, is it better to buy from a farmer's market? I would much rather buy from a farmer's market if I can, because it's fresh and local.
Me too, but I wouldn't necessarily make the leap to the fact that a farmer's market is safer. Food safe. Usually a big giant farm has more processes in place.
You'd think more safeguards in place.
Lots more to come on that. Collar is next. He's going to tell you who the Vikings starting quarterback will be week 1 and bet his salary on it. That's what I heard. Stick around. See you tomorrow.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time,